Okay,
That's right.
what is heavy? What is weight? Do you even know what weight is?
Oh my.
What's weight?
goodness.
Tell me the definition of weight.
It's your head on your shoulders, you fat
So
head.
a little sassy because he
Like,
doesn't know the answer to the
bro.
question.
Quick disclaimer, I call this man Lord Jamal for this entire video. His name is Lord Jamar, but I kept calling him Lord Jamal. That's my mistake. Keep that in mind. It is what it is. There you go. So we have a very entertaining video for you guys today. We are going to be watching a heated debate between Professor Dave and Lord Jamal. Now, Professor Dave, he's a, you know what, this video kind of introduces him. Let's go. But it's about flat earth. Lord Jamal gets destroyed on the topic of flat earth.
This good white man, Professor Dave, just single-handedly changed the perception of Lord Jamar, or at least for the people who believed that Lord Jamar was a hyper-intellectual. And he did so by not just beating Lord Jamar in a debate, but defeating Lord Jamar so badly and single-handedly that it was actually embarrassing to watch.
Why you are against what he believes? How about that?
Yeah, flat earth is the dumbest hoax in human history. Jamar just watched some videos by Eric Dubé, who just spews a bunch of bullshit, memorized what he says, and repeats it and pretends to be intelligent. Instead, everything you say is so insanely stupid and can be disproven with, like, middle school level physics.
Really?
So, yeah, we can go ahead and you can
Let's
rattle off your...
do it.
Y'all are about to witness a masterclass here. If I'm
Now, I can admit, I used to be a flat earther. It went hand in hand with being a fundamentalist Christian, a biblical literalist. That's the reason I fell for the flat earth scam, is because I believed what the Bible said. Now, there are going to be people who are like, oh, the Bible doesn't teach the earth is flat. This has been completely just obliterated time and time again. You can turn to the work of Dr. Michael Heiser, who is not a flat earther and a biblical scholar. He is now deceased, R.I.P., but he did a great piece of a scholarship on the fact that the Old Testament clearly communicates a flat earth, a flat cosmology. And it's only within modern times that we've tried to rewrite the Bible because people who want to be biblical literalists are embarrassed when they realize that the Bible teaches that there is a flat earth. Now, I could point to dozens of verses that tell you that the Bible, or prove that the Bible teaches the earth is flat, but I will just provide one for those people who believe the Bible doesn't teach the earth is flat. All we have to do is go ahead and turn to the prophecy of Jesus. So if we turn to Matthew chapter 24, verse 29, Jesus is given his prophecies about his return, right? The things that you will see upon his return. And it says here, immediately after the distress of those days, talking about the great tribulation, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not shed its light, and stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Now, when it says stars will fall from the sky, it's of course talking about the stars we see in space. These are the only stars that we're aware of. Now, this is no problem for a flat earther because they believe that stars are lights in the firmament, as did the authors of the New Testament, as did the authors of the Old Testament. They had no conceptualization of the globe earth model. And of course, this, you know, if these are the words of an all-knowing God, I find that to be highly problematic. And we know that they're talking about the stars because they're the only stars that exist, but they also mean the stars will fall to the earth. This goes hand in hand with the book of Revelation, chapter 8, verse 10, where it talks about, check it, the third angel blew his trumpet, and a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from heaven. It fell on a third of the rivers and the springs of water. So again, they believe that the stars are lights in the sky, lights embedded in the firmament, which is a dome that sits above the earth. And so it is capable. They're small, they're tiny, they're not that far away. And it can fall and hit and fall upon the great earth. However, if you're a globist or you know, you believe in the globe model, as I believe now and I have been believing since I got away from being a biblical literalist and a fundamentalist Christian, you know that the stars are not lights in the firmament, but are massive suns trillions of miles away. Where are they going to fall to? How are they going to fall on the earth? They're as big as our sun. It would completely consume the earth. The earth would be completely consumed by a single star. And so how does a star fall to the earth? So it just goes to show now, and if you don't believe they're going to fall to the earth, where are they going to fall to? Where are they going to go? They're already trillions of miles away. Even if they move another trillions of miles, we would still see the stars. And of course, the verse doesn't say the stars will be blacked out by clouds or whatever. The point is, the authors of the New Testament, the authors of the Old Testament clearly wrote with a limited worldview. They didn't understand that we lived on a globe. They didn't understand that stars are not lights in the firmament, but are in fact stars that are many, many miles away. So I don't know how you reconcile that and continue to be a biblical literalist if you believe in a globe earth. And so that's a big part of the reason why I'm not a biblical literalist anymore, just accepting the reality of the situation. Now, if you're a flat earther, you can continue to be a biblical literalist and you believe that space is fake and whatever. Well, the flat earth has been completely debunked. The only workable model that we have has been debunked by the final experiment, which is something that was recently conducted, which proved that there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, completely impossible in a flat earth model. Anyway, I'm not trying to get into all of that, but I believe that's a primary reason Lord Jamar is a flat earther. I've heard him speak in other interviews about how he's a flat earther because the Bible told me so. And the Bible has to be literally true, historically accurate, and factually accurate in every way. And so that's how you end up getting completely roasted, flamed, and eviscerated like he's about to.
Do you have a working model of a ball that has water sticking to the outside of it? Can you show me a working model of that?
A tennis ball.
But, yes, wet.
It has
And
nothing to
that.
do
But
with
no.
anything.
That's
Like,
not
what do
water
you even-
sticking to
what
a
does that even
ball.
mean?
That's saturation of water on the
Okay,
ball.
so
I
let's
want you to
see.
show me where water
Technically,
sticks.
he asked, can you show me an example of water sticking through a ball? That did satisfy his question.
To the outside of a ball
Yeah.
as it spins. It doesn't go to the
Okay,
equator of the
so-
ball and
All right,
spin
buddy,
off.
I
Yo, this is when I realized Lord Jamar is really dumb. I feel like these are things we learned probably in like the third grade.
heard what you said,
Show
I heard
me
what
a
you said.
working
I'm not gonna
model.
talk
Gotta
about it.
answer.
Okay.
Hang on.
You said something very
Show
stupid.
me
I'm
a
gonna explain to
working
you how
model.
stupid.
Okay.
The reason that things stick to the Earth is because the Earth is extremely massive, so it generates a very large gravitational field. When water falls off of a ball, whatever ball you're talking about, to the Earth, it's because of the large gravitational field exerted by the Earth. So when you're talking about water sticking to a ball, your desired demonstration of gravity fails because gravity exists.
No.
Things fall to the ground.
There is
because of
density
gravity.
and buoyancy, sir. Gravity is not some
Okay,
magical
density is
thing
not a
that
force.
makes things
Density is a
drop
scalar.
to the
Density is
ground.
not a force.
It depends
And
the
buoyancy
medium
only
that it
exists
is
where
in.
gravity
If I
exists.
drop something into this
Hey,
water,
kiddo, shut
depending
up.
on how
Hold on.
heavy
You
it
can't
is,
just- no,
it's
it's like you
going
can't
to
do it. You
sink
can't just
or
talk like-
float.
Wait, I want
He just starts rambling the various terms he heard on Eric Dubé's channel: density, buoyancy, gravity, without really understanding exactly what that means.
you all to talk, but
Density
I want to
is
hear
not
both.
a
First of all, this guy came out real disrespectful, talk about the stupidest shit. Like if he was in
Yeah,
this
it's the
room, I'd be
stupid- Dude,
smacking
you
the
just
shit out of
said it
him
doesn't
right
Oh,
now.
here we
First of
go.
all.
Study science.
Okay.
It's
Here
all
we go.
bullshit. Do
Right,
you have any idea how
sir?
offensive
You know
what
that,
is,
right?
What you say to the
You know that,
entire
right?
human race, the entire body of science.
Lesson to everybody watching: you can't be the dumbest person in the room and the most arrogant. You just come across like an ass. That's what we see here with Lord Jamar. Is he's trying to exert physical dominance over Professor Dave, even though in this particular setting and arena, Professor Dave is the dominant one because Professor Dave is intellectually superior to Lord Jamar. But Lord Jamar is having a tough time being the little guy. So he starts getting out of his masculine frame. He starts acting super feminine by making threats.
Scientific knowledge. Let me respond to the insanely stupid thing you said.
I want you to respond to my.
Let him talk, Jay.
Okay, we're going to talk about what pseudoscience is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Density
ahead.
is not a force. It requires a force to produce an acceleration.
Right.
Things accelerate towards the Earth. Density is a scalar. It's not a force. It can't make things move. Buoyancy, there's a buoyant force, but it has gravity in the equation.
It has
Buoyancy only
gravity.
exists
Yeah.
when gravity exists.
When gravity, the
So,
secret sauce.
here's the problem with your
gravity.
density.
Yeah, that's a
He's
sign
po-
right there of somebody who's losing the debate, man. You know, sometimes doing the whole mocking thing can actually work in your favor in a debate. But when it's clear that you're getting dragged into deep water and being completely drowned, and you resort to things like that, putting on that childish mocking voice, it just looks obvious to everybody that's watching that you are losing the debate.
You think that things fall down because the air is less dense. The air is less dense above the object too. So why the don't things fall up?
Yup.
Things do fall up, you asshole. Bubbles go up, you stupid fucking evaporation goes up, you. How can a tadpole defy gravity, you shithead?
Tadpole defy gravity? What the fuck
Yes.
are you talking
How does
about?
anything swim through if gravity is holding down oceans that are tons of
Yeah, here's for those of you who are having a little bit of trouble following along. Professor Dave is making an argument, right? Like here, I have a chapstick. It is more dense than the air around it. It falls down. Lord Jamal is saying it falls down because the chapstick is more dense than the air. The question is, what causes it to fall down instead of up? Why does it go down? Why does it go towards the earth instead of up towards the sky, right? If the idea is that this denser object is essentially bullying its way downward to the earth, why downward? Why not to the right? Why not to the left? Why not up? Why not put, what is the force that is causing it to go downward? What's so special about the direction that is towards the earth? So there is that nothing moves on its own. Newton's laws of physics, right? An object at rest will stay at rest unless acted upon by an external force. What is the external force that demands or is causing the chapstick to go downwards? There's something. Gravity makes a lot more sense. At the very least, it's a lot easier to grasp as a layman the concept. It's definitely the only thing I learned in school in physics class. How embarrassing that is. I had to betray so much that I learned in high school and college to adopt this flat earth nonsense for the sake of trying to say the Bible is literally true. You know, so many physics equations, basic physics equations that are required for, you know, everything from surveying the earth for erecting buildings and building bridges and things of that nature to, you know, building aircraft to calculating where things are going to fall if you shoot a missile. I did literal experiments in physics class where we had to estimate where a projectile would land based on the force that it's launched with and the weight of the object. And a key component is gravity. This force of gravity is baked into all of these equations. And for the sake of trying to just blindly follow this idea, you know, you just, oh, well, I don't. They're just all lying. They're calling it this gravity thing, but it's something completely else that no flat earther can really articulate what it is and how it works.
Yeah.
Of force. How does anything swim through the ocean? How do you fucking lift your legs off the ground?
So things can
you cock bag.
Muscles. Birds have wings, right? You can exert
They have
force,
wings?
which allows you to accelerate, right? Doesn't that make sense? If you jump or if you throw a ball, you're exerting force and you are counteracting gravity until that momentum runs out. You throw a ball, it goes up, and then it falls back down. Why do things fall down?
Speaking of momentum, do things
No.
energy?
Why do things fall down?
Subject. Why don't things fall up? Why do things only fall down?
There's no such thing in gravity.
Direction of falling? Why do things fall down to the ground?
Yeah.
Because
Density doesn't explain it. Density just says one thing. The mass of one object is more compact than the mass of another object. It doesn't explain why things go towards the earth and not up or to the right or to the left. What is the force that is demanding that it goes down? Density in of itself cannot explain that. What is that force?
they're heavy.
Of course, Lord, they're heavy.
Because they have density. That's
Okay,
why.
what is heavy? What is weight? Do you even know what weight is?
Oh my.
What's weight? Tell me the definition of weight.
It's your head on your shoulders, you fat head.
A little sassy because he
Like,
doesn't know the answer to the
bro,
question. What
We're
does
not
weight
going to
mean?
sit here and talk about all these.
We're not going to sit here and define words that you don't
Yes,
know. that you're
define
trying to
words. We're talking about what's heavy and what's.
And this is ultimately where the flat earther ends up. They cannot explain any of these things. What is weight? Why does it work? What is this force? What is causing this force? They don't know. Why is there a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? They don't know. And they'll say, well, just because we don't know doesn't mean the earth isn't flat. Just because we can't explain these things doesn't mean the earth isn't flat. Well, at the very least, it means we shouldn't believe your model when the model that we have, that the earth is a globe and gravity is caused by the mass of an object and et cetera, is perfectly consistent with reality. Every time we apply these principles to an aspect of reality, things continue to work. Like, we don't try to perform some kind of feat and then we're like, wait, this isn't working. The formulas say it always works every single time. It explains the seasons. It explains why there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica at one point of the year, why there's a 24-hour sun in the North Pole at another part of the year. Everything works together. It never breaks. But the flat earth model, they might say, okay, we'll explain this phenomenon with this idea. But then when you try to remain consistent with that idea in another aspect of reality, it breaks. It doesn't work anymore, right? And so this is the problem of the flat earther. Man.
Yeah, so what does fucking heavy mean, dumbass? You said the word heavy. What is heavy? What is weight? What is weight? What does that mean? You don't know the definitions of the words you're using.
Bro.
Should I define weight?
Tell him.
Yeah,
tell us
define
what weight is.
So he acts like the question is so beneath him. Cough, what's weight? That's because he don't know the answer. Because as soon as Godfrey throws him a lifeline, he automatically takes and says, yeah, define it, Godfrey, define it.
Here I go.
Look it up if you want.
A body's relative, here we go. A body's relative mass or the quantity of matter contained by it giving rise to a downward force, the heaviness, and then, of course, the heaviness of a person or thing.
By virtue of its position in a gravitational field. Things have weight because gravity exists.
See, you say these things. These
You
are
tell me the
definitions.
definitions of words,
These are
and I
definitions
don't know
that
what to say.
are given by people who are here
study
to
things and actually
who
know
are here
things.
to reinforce a certain position.
You niggas know no shame.
Seriously here. You can't change what gravity is.
I'm
or how
talking about common
electromagnetism
sense.
works.
I'm not getting
You
into
have
all of
to-
this.
You're not talking
Do you
about
feel like you're
common
moving?
sense has nothing to do with any of
Do
this
you feel
stuff.
like you're moving?
You can't just intuit how the laws of physics work.
Right.
You have to probe them and learn about them, study them.
Listen,
That's what
we know.
education
We
is.
know about these things, bro.
Yeah, the whole, does it feel like you're moving, you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator? Well, when you take into account that you make a full rotation in 24 hours, put yourself, just imagine that. It takes 24 hours for you to return to the position that you started at. You're not moving very quickly, right? Take a look at the hour hand of a clock. But that's essentially how fast you're moving. It only is 1,000 miles an hour at the equator because the Earth is so large. And so that's how fast the Earth has to move. But when you take into account the fact that the Earth is so large, it's essentially as if you were standing at the end of the hour hand on a clock. And that's really how fast you're accelerating. And that's really what you would feel. And so the fact that you cannot feel that acceleration because of the size of the Earth, which is why it takes 24 hours for you to go. Imagine being on a merry-go-round. That takes 24 hours to make a circle. That's why you don't feel it. You're moving too slow.
Let's go with you. The
But you
sun's
still
not
can see the
93 million
sun.
miles away.
This
The sun's
93
right
million
up there,
miles
right?
away
Are we
is
doing
ridiculous.
corpuscular
Okay, so the
rays?
sun's
or are
right
we
up there in the
doing-
sky, right? So why can't we go up and see it? Why doesn't it appear to get
Well, there's
larger as you go
videos.
up in
There's
altitude?
videos of people where they are actually above the sun.
There we
in
go.
planes and stuff like
There
that.
we go.
Yeah, there's a video where people are above the sun. Is that right? Or are you completely
Now,
full of shit?
Now, here's the thing. He's right. There are videos of it appearing as if the plane is above the sun. Not in the sense of like you're looking down and you can see a little fireball. He's talking about the setting sun, right? It looks like from the distance, the sun is lower than the plane. This is only possible on a globe Earth. This actually was the first thing that got me to accept that the Earth was not flat. The second thing was the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. This was, in my opinion, the most just brutal truth, right? And at this point, I got to give a shout out to Dave McKeegan Oh wow, he just uploaded another video. We might react to that next. He uploaded this video right here. The easiest observation to disprove flat Earth, 213,000 views 10 months ago. This video was the first thing that really was like, oh, the Earth's probably not flat. And then once I saw the final experiment where they proved the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, I was like, yeah, there's no way it's flat. So here, I got Photoshop opened up, right? So here we got the Earth. And then let's get a plane, right? And so we got a plane. You're flying over the globe Earth. Then we got the sun. I'm just going to paint in the sun real quick. Of course, this is not drawn to scale. This is the only way that it is possible for it to appear as if the sun is lower than a plane when the sun is setting. And because you're in this plane, right? So this is essentially how it works, right? So let's say you're here in the plane. Well, from your perspective, it's noon. The sun is right above you. As the Earth rotates, and this is just conceptually, right? Just for you to understand. As the Earth is rotating, it appears as if the sun is going lower than the plane, to the point where the sun, of course, sets, and then once you're over here, it's nighttime, the sun's on the other side of the Earth, you can't see it anymore, right? This is the only way this makes sense, right? And this is how, in that video I pointed out, we debunked the flat Earth, because you can get it at a point where you're on the Earth and you see a plane and you see the bottom of the plane is being illuminated by the sun. And that's because you're drawing straight lines of light from the sun, right? Here's the lines coming from the sun. And of course, the corpuscular rays, that's caused by perspective. But theoretically, right, the light is coming in a straight line towards the Earth. As you're rotating away, it gets to a point where it's possible. Now, of course, the sun would be bigger, where you would get light coming and hitting. So let's just make the sun bigger just for the sake of it, right? This isn't drawn to scale, obviously. You got light coming like this, and it hits the bottom of the plane. It hits the bottom of the plane. That's only possible in this model. Here's exactly why it doesn't work on the flat Earth model. And that's because in the flat Earth model, let's just go ahead and make this Earth flat, essentially. So here, we got our flat Earth, right? And we got our airplane. We'll make it a lot smaller now, right? You got your airplane flying above the Earth, essentially. Well, in the flat Earth model, planes only fly so high. Something like what? 30 to 60,000 feet in the air, something like that. Well, the sun, on the other hand, is estimated to be much higher up in the flat Earth model. I suppose we can take a look at all the numbers. So here we got our new model. Now, in the flat Earth model, the sun doesn't get closer to the Earth. It stays at the same height, essentially, and just goes around illuminating the Earth in a circuit. And at different points of the year, the circuit is smaller, and at different points of the year, it's larger, right? This is also why it's impossible for there to be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but that's for another video. We could probably break that down. But the point is, planes in the flat Earth model do not fly as high as the sun, because that would require the sun to be as low as like 20,000 feet or something ridiculous like that. You can look up how high up flat earthers say. They don't agree, obviously, just like how Christians can't agree on what the Bible's saying. Flat earthers cannot agree on what, how far the sun is. Well, the sun is up very, very high, much higher than planes fly. Everyone agrees with that. So in no reality, regardless of where the sun is above the flat Earth, it would never be possible for the bottom of a plane to be illuminated, or, as Lord Jamal puts it, for a plane to fly above the sun. That's just not possible. The only way that's possible is in the globe Earth model, where I demonstrated that to you earlier. So yeah, man, the Earth is not flat, guys. It most certainly does not align with reality. The Earth is a globe. No, you do not live, Satan is not the god of this world that is just trying to trick you and deceive you into all kinds of nonsense, bro. The world just is the way it is. You have one life, make the most out of it. Don't spend your entire life believing in fairy tales and superstitions, bro, because you're going to waste your fucking life, bro. Let's go ahead and finish out this video. But it's just like
How do you have pressurized air in something that doesn't have a covering?
How do you have pressurized air?
And
in
you
something that
guys
doesn't
will
have covering?
say,
Let him answer.
hang on. Let me finish saying what I'm
You
saying.
said what you asked the
Go
question.
ahead, bro.
You asked
Yeah,
him.
this is the
Dante,
vacuum
go ahead.
argument. You know, it goes on. You can watch the full video. We've already done a lot of debunking here, but Jamal believes that you cannot have a lack of matter beside a region that has matter because of diffusion and osmosis and all these things. Well, the reality is our atmosphere is being held to the earth because of gravity. And so without some kind of force to rip the atmosphere off of Earth into the vacuum of space, there is no reason why the atmosphere, the molecules that make up the atmosphere, will just venture off into space. Nothing moves without a force, guys. That's the point. Nothing moves without a force. There needs to be some force, and the lack of matter is not a force, which is a definition of a vacuum. The reason why vacuums suck, such as in with your vacuum cleaner, is because a force is being generated by a fan within the vacuum that is pushing air out, just thus drawing new air in. That's why your vacuum cleaner sucks. But when it comes to just the standard vacuum, which is by definition the absence of matter, well, it's just an empty space. An empty space in of itself is not generating any energy or any force to draw matter in towards it. Yeah, and so you can look into all of this stuff, man. And the reality is a lot of this stuff, the debunks are readily available online. And people who are just dogmatically attached to their ideas for whatever reason, whether it's because they are scared of death, they're scared of the unknown, they're scared of these things. They like the idea of having a nice, tidy, clean answer for what happens when we die. And so they hold on to these things. And then, of course, you have the Christians who like to scoff and laugh at flat earthers, but they just reject what the Bible clearly says and what experts and scholars clearly says that the Bible teaches and what early Christians believed about what the Bible was saying, which is that the earth is flat, you know. And then, of course, you have progressive Christians who are just, you know, insane. They don't believe the Bible is literal. They're just making that shit up as they go, bro. They're in la la land. I don't even know what's going on with them. They just like wearing the title of a Christian. But yeah, man, so whatever. Anyway, guys, that was this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And until next time, peace out.